Hello, good people of the internet. We are back today playing Suzerain in what is episode 5. If you have missed the previous episodes and you want to catch up, then maybe start from episode 1, which I will try and link as a card. And if you don't know what Suzerain is, then episode 1 will probably give you the best overview anyway. It is a political simulation game in which I do a lot of reading and make decisions which are probably going to send this country into ruin. We just had a meeting about the internal and external security, of which both appear in dire straits. We didn't make any decisions at that time. However, the external meeting did end with the Kingdom of Rimberg doing some sort of military activity near, I can't remember what they said. Was it Narble? Began with an aim. In Nargis, so it's this whole region here. And they were doing some kind of military stuff along this border, and then they closed their consulate, I guess. So they're pretty much preparing to attack, is the way that you might want to see it. That's how I see it. So yeah, we are probably going to make a decision soon about increasing budgets or doing stuff, but I mean, if there's a full-scale invasion, then that isn't just increasing budget, that's like doubling budget. Anyway, situation. A nationwide revolt, which is my fault as well. Because I said, well, because of the whole political stuff. It's not really my fault, but anyway, we need to quell the unrest and diplomatic pressure from Rimberg, demonstrated by the reduction of diplomatic staff and the closure of a key consulate. Okay, so they're not necessarily declaring war, but they're pretty close to it, is how I understand it. Expected to significantly impact Zordan's diplomatic relations with Rimberg, potentially leading to further deterioration. I mean, already, mate. Our connections, legislative. Our USP government has a thin majority, but we have met this guy, have we? Of British descent. Cool. Could be useful. And anyway, let's start reading things. Or should we go to dinner? I'm glad. Well, let's start reading things. There's a lot to read. Open city information. Widespread protests. Is that the only thing? So they're all just showing widespread protests. I see. This is not going to help the country in any way. Is that all these things are showing me? That these are new things? Okay, there is actually a report here. But the United Quintana Consulate helped the protesters. Red Youth protesters clashed with the young swords at the Westwood city centre, resulting in many injuries. The counter-protesters were cornered in front of the United Quintana Consulate after they were pushed back by the police. Mission opened its doors and Red Youth members escaped inside. Police are still waiting outside the building for the return of the members. Only slightly worrying. Decreasing job openings. Yeah, it isn't really saying which thing in here is the new information. But I assume it's just to say that they will have widespread protests. Maybe. But I just want to click on things and make sure there's nothing else going on. Open city information. I mean, this has homelessness, which we knew about before, and this protests. Part of the internal meeting, we said we would probably raise the budget for the, I don't know what to call them, police department, homeland security, interior ministry, I think. Let's read this report. Rise of Golkondism in rural areas of Berger. Minor religious branch of Vroeghedsist Nurity. Monotheistic religion teaching that is... Okay. Just make up some words, it's fine. I mean, it's all within the game. So it's all made up. I suppose it's better to make up a religion rather than to base one off of real life. Anyway, it's gained significant following in the city of Esreisen and the rural areas of Berger, mainly due to limited access to education and employment opportunities. The sect offers a sense of community purpose and salvation through strict adherence to its doctrines. BFF and foreign proselytizers are suspected to be behind the sudden increase in Golkondism. Anyway. More problems. Oh, this is a city that has organized crime, lack of healthcare, low literacy, police forces overburdened, widespread protests. Good luck. Oh yeah, organized crime was the thing that as well that we were hoping to raise the budget of the interior police force to deal with. Hey, look, we're building a highway. Yeah, nothing else new here. Okay, it's just a lot of clicks, but not a lot going on really. Let's go to the South protest as well. Logistical issues. Fine. Dinner with family at home. After a long day at the palace, I finally was home. I thanked Serge and walked through the front gates, nodding at the two guards as I went by. Even as I turned the doorknob, I could hear Deanna rushing down the stairs to greet me. Opened the door, and there she was, standing in front of me with expectant eyes. Papa, you're home. Bright little daughter, beautiful princess. Let's go and say, or we can hug her. Let's call her smart. And I lift her up and hug her while trying to put keys in the tray next to the entrance. So I did both. She was growing fast. Lifting her up was no longer as easy as it once was, which is why I didn't choose to. Ask how school was. Boring. I liked my old school better. Put her down and her expression turned serious. Papa, are the bad men gone? I mean, I don't know if there's only one bad man, so I'll just say I'll never let anyone hurt you, which will probably come back to bite us. She'll probably end up dead, won't she? She dashed down the hallway. So yes, Papa's here. Appeared next to the kitchen door. She was wearing an apron and holding a spatula in her hand. Deanna, what did I tell you? No running in the house. Monica approached me and kissed me on the cheek. Tantalizing smell wafted from the kitchen behind her. What do we have a cook for? How was your day? Or just ask when dinner is. Let's just say, how was your day? Terrific. I finally got to do some grocery shopping just like old times, and I'm making your favorite. Svabli, a classic wholesale delicacy, vegetables and creamy sheep cheese sandwiched between thin layers of dough. Absolutely my favorite dish, especially paired with kebbij, potent unfiltered wine from Berger. My lucky day, what's the occasion? She just wants to do something nice. Just kiss her on the cheek. I just wanted to cheer everyone up, but see, I knew that she'd tell us anyway. Smile faded and she lowered her voice so that Deanna wouldn't hear, especially after what happened at the ball. I'm worried about Anton. I'm worried, Anton, for you, the children, and for the country. Mama. She's hungry. We eat in a minute. Will you help me set the table? Anton, can you tell Frank to come down for dinner? He's been sulking in his room all day. Started taking out the plates while I headed upstairs to fetch my son. Loud rock and roll music echoed down the hallway from his room. I caught a faint hint of cigarette smoke. How old is he? Because if he's like 10, I can just open the door. If he's 15. It's the knocking age. I knock again. Right. Well. So we can eat. What do we want? Food is ready. Turn those records up loud next time, won't you? I don't think the neighbors heard. Hand over those cigarettes and join your family for dinner. So, what were we tasked with doing? I mean, he was in. Again, I'd like to be able to see just a few things back. What did Monica tell us to do? Go get him because dinner's ready. Sure. He's been sulking in his room all day, so we want him. We want to be nice to him. We don't want him to be smoking though. So all of these three are kind of negative. Let's just go with the food is ready. So he headed downstairs, table was prepared, and Monica was ladling foods. Have a suit, it won't be as tasty if it's cold. As we started eating, the room went quiet. Monica's cooking was as delicious as ever, but I had the feeling that wasn't the reason nobody spoke. Monica was the first to break the silence. So did you know that they refurbished the grocery store? I don't know if you remember the owner. He's been there every day for the past 30 years. Can you imagine doing the same job for so long? What if you were president for 20 years, for example? I don't want this country to suffer under another soul. 20 years of this, I'd be dead. Sure, that must never happen again. Anyway, the grocer really is a nice person. He threw in some extra vegetables with my... Frank suddenly slams his hands on the table, rattling the plates. So this is how it's going to be. We're just going to sit here like nothing happened. Dad, you could have been killed. Mum, you could have been killed. Anyone else could have died. And now he's made the girl cry. Frank, you know I would never let anything happen to you or Deanna, even if it cost me my life. And what would you have us do? And yet we are all still alive. You'll not raise your voice to me, young man. Well, let's not go with that one. He needs help in this situation. I mean, I can't make promises, but... be positive. For now, but how long until this happens again? I mean, he wants to talk about it, and then he gets up. Fine, let's talk about it. No, it was a close call, but everything is under control. Don't worry, we're going to be fine. Do you think I would let us go down so easily? So, how is it under control? I don't know the details. My security showed me that I took all the necessary steps. One rogue shooter, we were not even the target. Let's go with security. The same security that that person get shot in front of the palace. Listen to your father. If your father says we don't need to worry, then we don't need to worry. You have to trust him. We all have to trust each other. Things calmed down a bit at the table. We finished our food in silence. Frank got up first and retreated back to his room. Monica lifted Deanna up and plopped her in front of the living room TV before returning to the table. She sat down across me. Anton, he's still young. I know, but there's not much longer we can shield him from the ugliness of the world. That's what worries me. I made plenty of rash decisions when I was his age. My father would have given me hell for that kind of insubordination. So the first one. He's scared, Anton, and frankly, he isn't the only one. I promise if there's truly any threats to his family, you'll be the first to know. All you need to worry about is putting more delicious dinner on the table. I worry too. Things might escalate. Let's go with the first one. She got up, stood behind me, and massaged my shoulders for a moment before leaving me alone in the dining room. I sat alone at the table and drained my glass of cabbage. Had I been lying to Frank and Deanna? Was the threat to my family truly over? Time would tell. I mean, I didn't say the threat was over. I kind of said similar things, but let's have a look at the papers, just the headlines, unless something really grabs us. Protests across Swordland. Yeah, well, we kind of knew that. Protests in Grooney. Which one's Grooney? Oh, this one. Response to the assassination. Yeah. Rumors of an infrastructure project. I mean, are there rumors or did we just tell people? Underhaul construction, once again, number 1. So I think we're going to have to choose which construction company is going to be doing that highway build. So Underhaul construction being number 1. Maybe it's just in the paper, but... anyway, they were picked as number 1 by the reputable statistics, Swordland. The 11th time the company was selected for the top spot in a row since Chris Shaw was appointed as the CEO, which either means they are the best, or that they're just paying off this, or own this company. Shah congratulated the employees first and foremost in the private meeting held in Ellery, sure. Anyway, political chaos. NFP and Lust call for protests of what? Each other. Police claim to have the situation under control. Protests are turning into riots and violent attacks are occurring around the country. Gang violence claims young girl's life. Shot to death in Narble. Which, yeah, is that city. Go away. Sure, well, we knew about gang violence anyway. Unrest in Swordland. We know about the real truth behind the economic crisis. Large corporate businesses time and time again receive money from the government under the disguise of helping the economy, but what about the people? Many in the neglected regions still do not have electricity or fresh water in their homes, don't they? 1927, never again. I was there when General Luderin and Reichard clashed in the plains outside of Holsword, when the armies of the Swedish people killed each other. I was there when Colonel Saul won the war after bombarding cities. Sure, what are you getting at? Cannot forget when they declared martial law when his tanks rolled and murders took place. Those tanks cannot roll again. Anyway, Rumba closes consulate, which we also knew about. What comes next? So I can react to the unrest, or end of day at Marine Palace, office of the President, Swordland. So I don't know if this is optional, like which one of these, if I do one, do I still get to do the other? That's information I'm missing. There's also things outside in the international map. So let's read about this. CSP faction spotlight workers' rights in report. Drawing international attention to the pressing issue of labour conditions, the faction within the Kantanen Security Pact has released an insightful report on workers' rights within its member nations, as the CSP, consisting primarily of planned economies, grapples with the growing capitalist influence of Arcasia and the ATO. This report underscores the need for robust labour protections in the world. The document provides a thorough analysis of workers' rights and labour conditions within CSP member nations spanning several continents. It asserts that these nations surpass the global standard with an average minimum wage 45% higher and industrial sector unionization rates at an impressive 95%. Anyway, various things going on there. Arcasia develops the first ICBM. Recent intelligence briefings have spotlighted Arcasia's military progress, underscoring the successful completion of the Missile 4, an intercontinental ballistic missile of significant power and range. The Missile 4, with its estimated strike range spanning thousands of kilometers, represents a major leap in Arcasian military technology. precision targeting system allows for the destruction of targets at long distances, thereby escalating the potential threat. Arcasia approaches to territories well beyond the boundaries of Western Macopa. So that's good to know, I suppose. And there's still one more over here. Republic of Morella expresses condolences for Circas in the wake of his untimely passing. President Alma Sultana of Morella conveyed heartfelt condolences to the people of Swordland. The leader recognized Circus as an influential poet and advocate for millennialist ideas, lamenting his loss as a blow to the literacy and political world. She even called for the memorialization of Circus's contribution to social discourse and reaffirmed Morella's commitment to the ideals he espoused. Recognized as the Republic, sharing borders with Free Cities and Kenai. Are they like nationalists then? Hard to know without reading every single word. Anyway, let's go react to the unrest. Or do we end the day here? I feel like we need to react to the unrest before we do this. The political situation around the country has escalated. Chief strategist Lucien Gallard has prepared several action plans that we can execute. What will we do to address the intensifying political climate? Call for restraint on national television. Visit affected towns in person. Label all protesters as traitors. Expand the police by deploying all recruits and training. Reject the plans. So, I think we should do something. We can't visit affected towns because there's too many. We can't label all protesters as traitors because there's too many. And that's a bit radical. Anyway, they're still our citizens. You can't really call your citizens traitors. Expand the police by deploying all recruits and training. It's just a way to get people to not want to be part of the police. I think we just call for restraint on national television. And the news is, President Rain calls for restraint. I mean, we should have done this days ago. I said we should have done this days ago, but then it was like several days later. Anyway. And riots started popping up around the country, triggered by the death of Circus. Yep. Characterizing the situation as a first step into civil war, did I? And saying Swordland would be destabilized if voices of reason did not prevail. I mean, I didn't say those things, but anyway, it doesn't matter. I said to do something about it. It was late in the evening. The Maroon Palace was finally getting somewhat quiet when I returned to my office at the top. I eagerly approached my chair and sprawled out on it. It had been an exhausting day, just like every day since I took office. Cigarette, whiskey, lean back and relax, prepare to go home. Didn't I already go home and have dinner? I feel like they got the order on some of these events wrong. Let's just lean back and relax. Daunting but beautiful. Are we about to see something explode or something? Don't know. Glanced downwards out the window and saw Serge and the guards waiting for me by the main gate. Heard a couple of knocks at the door. My secretary, Livia Suno, entered. Mr. Tusk is here to see you. You had a meeting with the Lothberg spokesman. I'm so sorry for not giving you proper notice. Do your job properly next time? Do you expect me to keep track of everything myself? I was just about to leave. Maybe we can postpone the meeting. Mr. Tusk, remind me who he is. The millionaire businessman. Investor in the current spokesman for the Lothberg Group. Yes. What did I want with him? The well-known newspaper economist and is major shareholder of steel company Berger Steel. A private non-government organization which assesses the economic conditions of Swordland. I just can't remember what we were going to do because that was a few episodes ago now. Law, economy, situations or policies, promote market economy. Like, why did we want to have this meeting with him? Or it's part of the situations. Weak transport links we're solving, aren't we? Decreased trade volume. Berger economy plummeting. Lauren Rust Belt. Because we could postpone and have it like some other time when other people are around, but I don't want to annoy the person. It's just... Anyway, so I've told her not to worry about it. So we're going to have this conversation. I can't remember why. Swordland's most prominent businessman once or twice, but never alone. He had large jowls, blindingly shiny shoes, and the air of someone who was used to getting his way. Anything to drink? Water, whiskey, cognac, preferably from before you were born. I'll check the supply room. Olivia backed out the office, shooting me an apologetic look as she did so. Walter hung up his hat, which I could see was lined with mink. He fixed me with a long, hard stare, then broke into a toothy grin. Good evening, Mr. President. I'm here to congratulate you. Both sat down. Business partners and I wish you a successful term as the leader of our nation. Thank you. I had no chance to say this at the ball with all the panic, but we're very much looking forward to working with you. So I can either say likewise, thank you. Why is it that you're already here, Mr. Tox? So I can say thank you or likewise. Let's say likewise. I'd like to build a profitable relationship between us. That being said, there are some concerns of mine and the people I represent, which I'd like to take this opportunity to clear up. What are these concerns? It's the Lotharbert group is what I think. The ruined state of the economy in Swordland has influenced everyone. The recession hit all of us hard. Yes, I want to improve it. Walter pulled out a box of cigars from his jacket. I had these brought from Lesbia, the best cigars in the whole continent. Would you like to try one? I can say yes. Or just, you go ahead, I don't want to smoke. Yeah, let's go with that. That's it. He looked out towards the city scenery as he puffed away. Heard that you purchased stock from Armandine Industries and Arcasia Smart Buy. They're developing new gadgets that are going to be profitable. With risk comes reward. I expect a very good return on investment. Spend money to make money. They say, let's see if it holds true. Figured why not take the chance? Oh. It's much worse to live with regret and what ifs. I'll buy a couple of thousand of shares too to expand my portfolio. Hope the investments pay off for both of us. His eyes wandered away for a moment. You are having a good start to the term for sure, besides the recent troubles. Glad that you've decided to promote the free market, which is the only thing that can get us out of this mess. We had nothing but trouble so far. The ability of the free market to evolve is hard to dispute. It's good that we think alike on that matter. I took favorably to my economic team's advice. So either 2 or 3. The ability of free market to evolve is hard to dispute. It's good that we think alike on the matter. Sure. To a closer relationship then. One that will bring Swordland out of crippling recession. The highway investment was a good call, but there was more to gain in the high-speed rail, especially for business logistics. The Aganlan region was in dire need of investments. Our goal was to focus on the needs of the people, not the businesses. The intention of the administration is to boost the economy. I don't want to disclose our intentions to an outsider. So yeah, Agamland needing investments is true. Intention. So I don't want to say it was for the people and not the businesses, because that's half of it, but administration is to boost the economy. The most important goal is to divert investments where most profits can be made for the Treasury. We can be close allies. The group can help you get sorted out the recession, which will be the key problem to solve in your term and could even determine your re-election. Let's start with a gesture of goodwill. Soon the investment project contract will be awarded to one of three main contenders. He pulled a check out of his pocket and slid it towards me on the table. My personal bank details were listed on it with a deposit of 500,000 Swedish ren ready to be transferred. This was a 6 months of president's salary. If the contract was somehow awarded to Underhall Construction, they would not only work hard and deliver, but also do it on time. What do you think, Mr. Rain? Wouldn't that be good? He put his index finger on the check. There was a noise by the door. Olivia Suno was standing there, holding a tray with a bottle and 2 glasses. I'm so sorry, Mr. Tusk, but all I could find was 1942 Savigny. I hope that it's acceptable. She quickly put the tray on my desk and walked out. Tusk eyed her as she left. Remind me to visit your office more often. Now, do we have a deal? So we have to decide if we want to take a bribe. Indeed, Mr. Tusk, I am looking forward to our future transactions. Oh yeah, and also, so we saw this news report. Underhall Constructions, again, number 1. He runs this paper. He has connections to this company. Company sold half of the shares to Walter Tusk, spokesman for the Lotharberg Group. Indeed. And if we look at The Economist, he publishes the well-known newspaper. So I can either say yes, or not yet. We both know you can do better than that. Or I can say I can make my own decisions, or did you just try to bribe the president and refuse? So I can say I'll make my own decisions. I mean, I need to know all the facts, right? I also want to be friends with him. I don't want him to have anything on me to be like, hey, I bribed you. I think we just have to go with I will make my own decisions. I don't know what happens to my personal wealth, if I need personal wealth or what. Sighed and pulled the check away, putting it in his pocket. Did you think that I was just another corrupt politician? If this is what you came here for, then we're done. Thank you for your visit nonetheless. Be careful, Tusk, or you will have to make your deals in a prison cell. So yeah, I mean, I still want to be nice to him, but let's just say thank you. Let's go share opinions. We will meet again in the future for sure. Keep him on side. Almost forgot, please hello to Mr. Coronti for me. He smiled. Have a good evening. Walter stood up, grabbed his jacket and made his way towards the door. He closed the door behind him. I gathered my things and prepared to finally head home. As I walked out, I noticed Livia still there, covering up her typewriter for the evening. If I may be so bold, Mr. President, did you accept the offer? I mean, it's, again, I'd like to say more than one of these things. So it's none of her business, obviously. Of course I didn't. How could you even ask me that? You didn't ever speak about it again. You didn't see anything. So, I mean, if I did take it, I might still do it and lie, but I'll just say I didn't because I didn't. The other girls have told me about all kinds of dealings that went on during the Alfonso administration. I wasn't sure if you were that kind of president. I most certainly am not. Don't worry your pretty head about it. Let's just say I'm not. Because, you know, we don't need sexism. And we continue. Anyway, she and I took a moment to look out over the lights of the city before heading to the elevators. And we have not been bought. I mean, yet. But there are lots of more decisions to do. Local police working with nationalists. One of our agents acting as a young swords member had an encounter with 2 members of the local police force in Anrica. According to the report, the policeman tried to bribe the agent to burn down a store that belongs to a known Communist Party member, and to instigate further violence, we have detained the policeman on charges of corruption. So I can finalize the H3 highway contract, so we can do that. Narbel, read the report. Ministry of Defense reports that the situation along the border is getting tense. Rumburg's Southern Army was sighted training close to our borders and did not respond after we issued a radio message. Chief of the Armed Forces General Kruger reports to have increased patrolling duties along the northern border to signal readiness. Even though we're not necessarily ready, but anyway. Something out here. Pales issues warning over Rizian actions. In a formal address, Grand Duke Axel Reinhardt of Pales issued a cautionary statement regarding recent Rizian activities. The Grand Duke expressed increasing concern over the intensifying border disputes and clashes over territorial waters and gas fields, asserting Pales' sovereignty. He called for respect for international laws and peaceful dialogue to prevent further escalation. He urged the alliance of nations to mediate the situation, emphasizing the potential risk these tensions could pose to regional stability. Okay. So, economic relief plan. An act to ease the economic hardship felt in the country. Meeting with Marcel Comronti. Or we can finalize the H3 highway contract. Well, just in case this guy will want to say something about that, maybe we should talk to him first. Or maybe we put a cut in here. Well, let's just check out the news first. And then we'll put a cut in. Foreign gas and engineers' salaries under scrutiny. Sure. Kibner suggests expanding executive powers. The new constitution should expand executive powers, adding fuel to debate over the possibility of reforming the 1929 constitution. No thanks. Revealed that foreign engineers may be many hailing from here and here earn significantly higher wages compared to the sawdust counterparts in other companies. I see. So our external engineers earn more money? Why? Are they working in the other countries? Because if so, that probably just makes sense. But I'm not quite sure I understand. Challenger sawdust engineers face an increasingly globalized job market. But if they're being paid more, then you would just see these people leave to go work in these regions. Anyway. This calls for corporate responsibility in Narbel. Strong call for social responsibility and income. As income inequality and public service deficiencies exacerbate, demands local corporations step up to aid the community. Maybe. Reform demands gain popularity. Demands for reform are gaining more popularity, which is good because that's what we want to do, reform. Latest public opinion report showed that the majority of the sawdust people want changes in the governmental structures that were established after Tarquin Sowell's military coup. Public trust in the GNA and the Supreme Court is at an all-time low. While rumours of reform talks are coming out of the Assembly, it seems unlikely that without complete unity, none of the parties would be able to lead such a proposal. In order to change the constitution, the proposal must collect at least 150 signatures and then reach the needed 166 votes. the proposal passes the Assembly, it's still subject to another voting in the Supreme Court. Workers' Party Solidarity March. Sure. Anyway, it's time to put another cut in. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and it will encourage me to make further videos for this, because if no one's liking it, then I probably won't. If you're out there and want to see more from me, then please subscribe to the channel, because it really does help. But otherwise, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day, wherever it is you are.